Things here. Fix here, then I can turn this stuff off and it started. Here. Come on, guys, give me a second here. I think I should be good to go. Mondays. Getting ready for another one of those days. Sorry, just setting up here. Alright, we should be good. Let me turn this stuff off real quick because gotta switch over. It's been one of those chill nights. I'll go with which one? Yeah, I'll go with that. Nah, we done out this. Gotta get ourselves prepared. I'm gonna turn the music off. Because obviously, we're not here. Not here to jam out, list the music. Probably gonna get copyrighted for that, but who cares? Not here to jam out, listen to music. Here to talk about the Ravens. Though I'd rather just go back to doing that. I've been vibing the entire night. It's been a real chill day. Anyway, I'm tired, but like it's been a real chill evening. Yeah, I listen to Polo G. Why am I playing? No, that wasn't sad music. That was not sad music. Monday Night Football is playing, but I'm not about to commentate over this. But y'all listen to Polo G. Anywho, let's get ready for this session. You know, I feel like I got a lot to say. Yeah, it's a decent game. I'm still not gonna commentate over it. I have no interest in doing that. I already knew Monday Night Football was happening, so I said, do I want to commentate over Monday Night Football, or should I address the whole situation with the Ravens? I said, yeah, might as well address the situation with the Ravens. So, I guess before we get started into discussing the Ravens right now, which, by the way, the title is just speaking of the current state of the Ravens. Don't think this is a situation where it's crisis alert. Okay, team 7-3. There's no reason to be alerted and think, okay, we're in serious trouble. The title is just the title. We're just addressing the Ravens right now in terms of where they stand right now and how things could turn out within the next couple weeks, especially knowing they got a game Thursday night. So this isn't a one of those type of live streams where we're pressing the panic button. Say it's time to panic. We got to really address the Ravens. This is a serious issue. No, we're not. We're not here to do that. We're just here to talk about the Ravens in terms of some of the things we've seen, some of the issues, all the whole 9 yards about that. But before we do get into that, I think someone definitely said in the Alexa, no one called you.
Sorry.
No.
I'm not sure.
Alexa, silence. No one called you. Anywho, acting up for no reason. We told you to turn on. Anywho, like someone who said it here, shout out to, because I already saw it earlier for the most part. Shout out to Boy Wonder. Yeah, we got some updates in regards to injuries. There was a scare yesterday in regards to Marlon Humphrey. He went down on a non-contact injury. There was some people that were they were saying, or at least believing, that he had suffered some sort of Achilles injury, but the report came out today. It's not an Achilles injury, it's a calf strain, which it's not exactly. It's a great news, by the way. First of all, that means you're not losing him for the year. But it's not exactly a surprise to see him suffer a calf strain. He came into the game already dealing with a hamstring injury. It was only a matter of time before that would go lower. Now, once you got a guy that's dealing with a hamstring and dealing with a calf, you know what comes next. I would prefer if the Ravens don't choose to rush him. But apparently, according to some of the reports we're hearing, and according to Harbaugh in terms of the update in regards to both Marlon Humphrey and Ronnie Stanley, they're day-to-day. And it's possible, he didn't rule them out, but it is possible that those two could play Thursday night against Cincinnati. Me, personally, I don't want to see them out there. Okay, if the guy is compromised, let's not put him out there. We've had a bad history with injuries. Let's not try to force a guy out there that's dealing with an injury to go play, and then all of a sudden the injury gets worse. Humphrey was already questionable with an injury, with a hamstring situation. You throw him out there, he suffers a calf strain. Just give him the time off. We have 10 days off after that Thursday night game before we have to play another game. So give Humphrey the time to rest and recover and, get himself 100%. So that's the case there. Marcus Williams is still not 100%. We already know he's playing with one arm, but Ravens are going to put him out there and they're going to try to get him going. Harbaugh's like, hey, man, it's going to take time for him to get himself going, but he's going to continue to get reps, and it's only a matter of time before he gets back into the rhythm of things. So obviously that's a sign that they're going to continue to utilize Marcus Williams. And he also addressed the whole situation in regards to them not giving Keaton Mitchell opportunities. Instead, it was just how the game went. Didn't really come up like that. There was some people on the offensive side, coaching-wise, that had some concerns about putting Keaton Mitchell and giving him too many snaps. You gave him 4 offensive snaps, but okay. They didn't want to give him too many snaps. There was a bunch of stuff that was said, but, it is what it is. Anyway, that was the update. Injury-wise, it is what it is for the most part. Nothing majorly here for the injury part. I know Morgan Moses was practicing. Seems like he potentially could be good to go on Thursday night, but we're not fully sure. Either way, injuries are minor for the Ravens right now. Nobody's suffering from anything major. And yeah, we're just going to keep on trucking. So that's pretty much the aspect of discussion for the Ravens in terms of injuries. Now, let's kind of get down to the whole 9 yards and the whole situation that we find ourselves in. And also the main reason why we're here in the first place. It's really about to be a 9-8 game heading into halftime. Potentially, because it looks like Bills might get the ball back. Anywho, yesterday. Woo. Yesterday was quite the interesting game, ladies and gentlemen. It was quite the game. You had 2 AFC North divisional teams going at it. 2 AFC North divisional rivals going at it. It was a game between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens that came down to the wire. Probably should realize I should take the Bluetooth off this chair so that doesn't happen again. What's going on, Luis?
Disconnected.
Yeah, I got you. Let me just turn this whole chair off. Actually, no, keep the lights. I'm not going to turn the chair off. But, yeah. That game yesterday came down to the wire. And the Cleveland Browns were able to get the 33-31 victory. No way Russell Wilson runs us all the way down. They were able to get the 33-31 victory on a last-second field goal. And that marked yet another game in which the Ravens had a double-digit lead, had control of the game in the fourth quarter, blew it, and lost yet another game. I don't know what to tell you in that situation. It's starting to become a trend. I made that video last night in regards to a trend that we're starting to see with the Ravens, in which they can't hold on to a lead. They continue to blow these leads. They're blowing double-digit leads. They're blowing these 7+ point leads they're having, and they're blowing those leads in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's becoming an issue. And every time we ask hardball or ask the team about the issues, they just start going on and on about these being mistakes they gotta fix. It's part of football. Situations happen. Yada yada yada. It's things that we gotta work on. Things we gotta fix. We can't play like that. We just gotta execute better. It all comes down to we just gotta execute better. It continues to be the same old story with the Ravens in terms of how they choose to answer these questions, in terms of how things are going. And it's becoming a bit of a problem. Now, of course, if you're somebody that looks at a glass and say it's half full, you sit back and say we're 7-3. Everybody has bad losses on the season. It doesn't have to define your team. If you take a look at the Super Bowl season, we were 10-6. We had a horrible loss to the Texans, and we got blown out by the Broncos, but saw what we did. You would be that type of person that sit back and say 7-3, you're fine, you'll be okay, you've suffered a couple bad losses. If you're somebody that takes a look at the situation and looks at glass and says it's half empty, you're going to sit back and talk about the Ravens losing 3 games they have no business losing. That Colts game, that game should have been over the second the defense made a stop and got a safety. That should have been the game. Ravens should have won that one. Against the Steelers, if the receivers do their job, the very basic thing for a receiver to do, catch the ball. When you're wide open, catch the ball. If the receivers do the simplest job of catching the ball, we're not in this situation where the game comes down to the wire and we lose. That ends up being another case. And then today, the third loss of the season, you're up 14 in the fourth quarter and you choke that lead away. So I don't know how you do it. Browns gave you opportunities to win that game. When Prochet fumbled, you got the ball. It was a messy sequence, but you somehow scored a touchdown. You're up 31-17 in the fourth quarter, and the team collapses. Defense proceeds to let the Browns go down the field with ease in quick time, scores a touchdown. Next offensive possession for the Ravens, Lamar's ball gets batted in the air, picked off, and another pick for Josh Allen. What the? This guy is... Side tangent right now. Side tangent. I want to sit back and say this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't be the only one looking at this, right? I can't be the only one seeing this. The quarterback play this season has not been great. Mahomes' numbers are down from what we usually see, and there's been moments where Mahomes has looked bad and has turned the ball over in questionable situations. Josh Allen he can't stop turning the ball over. It's the second pick of the game. Lamar Jackson can't hold on to the football. Trevor Lawrence has been turning the football over as well. His numbers don't look great. I'm looking at this. Burrow threw 2 picks yesterday. Some of the best quarterbacks in football this year. From Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, Burrow, Herbert. Hurts, who again last year was relatively clean, is turning the ball over more this season compared to other years. We're watching a lot of the best quarterbacks in the game this year. They're not having great statistical seasons. They're turning the ball over way too much. And it's weird. Has defense returned? Because offense has been low-key poor this season. I'm serious. The offense has been low-key poor in a lot of these games. Is it the situation where the offense is taking a step back this year? Or is defense just taking a step forward and this is the year of the defense? Because if this is the year of the defense, I nominate Myles Garrett to win MVP. Think about the situation. In the MVP race, it has gotten to the point where C.J. Stroud, a rookie, legitimately has a chance to win the MVP. That's how crazy it's been. That's legit how crazy it's been. The quarterback play has been very questionable this season, which makes it very interesting come playoff time. Say what you want, but C.J. Stroud has not been turning over the ball much in his rookie year. If the Texans find a way to get to the playoffs, I think he can win MVP as a rookie. And if the Texans get there with the way CJ's playing, bro, anybody can be knocked out. We just saw Cincinnati lose to them yesterday. It's so weird how the quarterback play has been this season. It's just weird. Like, the quarterbacks have just been turning the ball over at a higher rate. All the top tier quarterbacks aren't looking fantastic this year. Maybe it's the year of the defense. I don't know. It's got to be the year of the defense. That, or maybe the quarterbacks have just played awful football this year. You get some years like that. We get some seasons like that where the offensive production from the quarterback position is just not great that year. Like, all the elite quarterbacks, all the top quarterbacks, they're just not playing good football. Or they're just not playing high-level football, and nobody understands why. So, I just don't notice this. Think about it. I'm looking at it. I saw Mahomes against Denver throw two off. He was awful against the Broncos. I watched Lamar yesterday. He was bad against Cleveland. That was a terrible performance. He threw a mind-boggling pick. Joe Burrow threw 2 interceptions against the Texans, and now here's 2 more turnovers for Josh Allen in this game. I don't understand what's going on with the quarterbacks this year. Trevor Lawrence was awful against the Niners yesterday. What's happening with some of the best quarterbacks in football right now? What's going on? Like, I got to get back on topic with the Ravens, but just the quarterback play this year has been mind-boggling. A rookie could legitimately win MVP. If I have to be honest, man, if we're talking about from a production standpoint, C.J. Stroud's been the best quarterback in football this year. You can make that legitimately. Look at what he's done. C.J. Stroud has been the best quarterback in football from a statistical standpoint, from a production standpoint. That's what you're getting. He's been the best quarterback. He's performed the best. He's been relatively clean. He's not turned the ball over much. All the top-tier quarterbacks just turn the ball over multiple times in the games. I don't know what's going on this year. It's just like bad decisions from quarterbacks. I thought Lamar made the worst throw yesterday. This one looked poor. I watched Josh Allen throw it right to the defense. What is going on with quarterback play? And the Broncos ended up getting another 3 points because of the incompetence of Josh Allen. So now, instead of them going to halftime down 4, they're down 7. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Wow. This is such a confusing season. Like, look at the offensive players this year. This is such a confusing season. Also gotta say, this was actually executed well by the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna get back to the Ravens in a second. But somehow the Broncos were able to execute this beautifully. They got themselves a little bit closer to field goal range, and then got their field goal unit out there to kick the ball just before time ran out. Because the Broncos didn't have any timeouts left. It was 15 seconds left. They snapped the ball. Russell Wilson fired it across the middle. It was completed. And then everybody just rushed off the field. Special teams came out with efficiency. And just before time ran out in halftime, they kicked the field goal. It's good, 15-8 there. So that's kind of good. Good job on the Broncos actually being able to execute there. Anyway, let's get back to the Ravens. So, yeah, I talked about the game. You know, it's becoming a trend. If you're a half-empty type of person, you're watching the Ravens this year and saying this continues to be a continuous thing. It continues to be a continuous thing for the Ravens to blow leads like this. Because if you watched how they've been over the last few years, they lead the league in blowing leads. They have had the most blown leads, most double-digit blown leads, most 7+ point blown leads, most blown leads when you have the lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's crazy to say, but they have consistently blown leads since 2021. This is what the Ravens have been, and it's a problem. And they keep talking about how they have to fix these issues, but these same issues continue to happen. And at this point, I can't take anything Harbaugh says seriously because I like to see the results on the field. And the results show me you're not actually putting in the effort to change things. I have a perfect example. I used this last season too, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in one of my live streams. Early on in the season, the issues with the play clock was there. We kept getting delay of game calls. Somebody in the media early on in the season addressed Harbaugh for it. They asked Harbaugh in regards to it, and he addressed it there and said, yeah, we can't keep dealing with these delay of games. We got to get We got to get better at that. We got to get out of the huddle quickly. We got to get set faster. We got to make sure there's still plenty of time on the clock before we get ready to snap the ball. We got to stop dealing with these delayed game penalties. He said that early on in the season. So you would assume that would be fixed, right? No, it would still be a problem throughout the rest of the season. So that shows that's something that should have been fixed, that he addressed to the media, said that it was going to be worked on and going to be addressed and going to be fixed, and nothing changed. So that just goes to show you how they're not really working to change anything majorly. Like, they're not looking to make those major changes. In terms of this year, you're still having an issue with the fumbling situation, and it still hasn't really been addressed like that. We have been dealing with fumbles and turnovers throughout the season, and it continues to be an issue. Now, of course, a good chunk of that has to be held on Lamar Jackson because you're the quarterback. You've personally got to stop turning the ball over. But at some point, that part of it has to also deal with the fact that other guys have been turning the ball over too, mainly fumbling the ball, of course. And it's been a thing that's been happening with multiple players, from guys like Justice Hill to guys like Odell. You're seeing people just fumble the ball. When there's problems, you should look to address them and truly fix them. With the Ravens, I don't see that really happening. And the funny thing about it is, the Ravens don't really look to change up what they do. You would think that a team or any coach that just saw this newly individual step on the field and make an impact just like that, you would think you would want to give him more touches. Keaton Mitchell went off against the Seahawks defense, 9 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown. He was killing it. And then we hear, okay, they're gonna look to get him more touches. Moving forward, they're gonna look to get him more involved. They're gonna look to get him more touches. You come to this Browns game. Early on in the game, this man gets the snap, cuts it left, takes it down the sideline, touchdown. 39-yard touchdown run by Keaton Mitchell. He had 4 offensive snaps in that game. So you have this weapon that could be a huge asset to you, and you choose to not utilize him. Yet you choose to overutilize Gus Edwards and then bring Justice Hill and give him some carries. That just goes to show you, Harbaugh does not like change his ways. Sometimes, that was a conversation back in the day. Sometimes we would bring up these discussions between John Harbaugh and Jim Harbaugh and talk about what's the difference between the two. Harbaugh's definitely a better coach. In my opinion, I think they're the exact same. What's going on, Corey? Appreciate you stopping by. If you ask me, between Jim and John, who's better? I would tell you neither. They're the same. They're both stubborn. Hey, they're both stubborn coaches that like to do things their way. And they don't really like change. They don't like change. Jim Harbaugh does not like change. John Harbaugh does not like change. Jim Harbaugh likes to do things his way. John Harbaugh likes to do things his way. And they're both equally stubborn. They are. They are. They are. Why not utilize your weapon in Keaton Mitchell? You would think that'd be the smart thing to do, right? Nah, let's not do that. Instead of utilizing this weapon that could really, really help us out. Oh, perfect. While I'm sitting there doing a live stream, they're over here showing a recap of the Ravens-Browns game. Please get this out of my face. Please get this out of my face. Look at this nonsense. But, yeah. They refuse to make those changes. They're very stubborn. And it's very interesting watching that. You got a guy in Keaton Mitchell. Man. Could utilize him in the run game, right? Instead of doing that, you know what we should do? Let's utilize all our backs. Let's not just feed the hot hand. Let's utilize all our backs. Why? Because that's something we do. We utilize all our backs. We're not really sitting here looking to be special by just relying on his talent. We're looking to do things our way. And that's pretty much how the Harbaugh's been as a head coach. But I want to sit back and say this. Harbaugh definitely has his issues. Harbaugh has allowed a lot of stuff to happen during his time as a coach. And Harbaugh has not really changed much as a head coach throughout his time in Baltimore. And we're seeing some of the negative aspects of dealing with Harbaugh as a head coach, as nothing seems to change with this team and they keep losing football games the same way. These things are happening, but we're not going to pretend it's all John Harbaugh. We're not going to pretend that's the case. We cannot pretend that's the case. Harbaugh's got to be held responsible for this being a consistent thing. But when it comes to what happens on the field on a game-to-game basis, we do have to take a look at the players playing the game. So when that happens, we have to take a look at the individuals playing. You got to look at the defense. The defense. We saw this in Pittsburgh, and we saw it here again yesterday with Cleveland. When the game gets tight, and we need the defense to make key stops in key situations against some tough competition, what happens? Against Pittsburgh, we needed that defense to make a stop in a key situation. We had the lead 10-8. Do not, and I repeat, do not let them score a touchdown. Well, not 10-8. It was 10-8 or 10-9. Either way, we knew we had to make a stop. What did our defense do? In key situations, what did our defense do? In the fourth quarter, what did our defense do? I'm seeing you saying the defense is gas. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. You don't think Pittsburgh's defense was gassed after playing us, knowing how bad their offense was and how they were constantly getting packed up? Was the Steelers' defense not gassed? Was Cleveland's defense not gassed yesterday? So the Ravens' defense is the only defense that just happened to be gassed. Are we sure about that? The Ravens' defense is the only defense that's ever had to go on the field to make a stop while being gassed. We're not going to make excuses for them. How did they play in the fourth quarter? How did they play in the fourth quarter? It was 31-17. How did the defense play in the fourth quarter? I don't know what to tell you, man. So you gotta look at the defense. Throughout the entire game, the middle of the field was being abused. The middle of the field was left wide open. Not once did anyone look to make that adjustment. They kept trying to play the outside, and Watson just kept attacking the middle of the field. They talked about making sure they don't let Deshaun Watson take off. They said they practiced that. Not one person was able to stop Deshaun Watson from taking off in the second half. How many broken tackles did he have in that fourth quarter? How many times are you going to let this man get out the pocket and take off and utilize his legs without making a stop, without trying to put a spy on him? Where were these adjustments that needed to be made? You would look at Mike McDonald for not making those adjustments. You will look for your leaders in the defense for not noticing that they kept attacking the middle of the field. I'm just saying, defense got to bite that one, because defense, the number one scoring defense, they didn't play well. They did not play well. So they got to bite that one. Then you look offensively. The O-line got cooked. And Myles Garrett's a monster. So you got to put 2 on him. Which is why you would assume, you would use an extra blocker in Patrick Ricard. They couldn't stop a nosebleed down the stretch. That offensive line had a terrible performance, and Ronnie Stanley got hurt again. That offensive line was constantly getting beat the entire game. They were constantly getting beat the entire game. The entire game. Constantly getting beat. Constantly getting beat. No response from that offensive line. Absolute pathetic performance by them. They couldn't block a nosebleed yesterday. And ultimately, it led to the demise of that team in that game. Then, you take a look at Lamar Jackson. And I'll probably have to make a video about Lamar Jackson when the bye week comes. So, after Thursday night's game, and then we play the Chargers next week. When we head into the bye week, I will probably have to make a video about Lamar Jackson. Because it's such a polarizing conversation to have when we talk about Lamar Jackson. But it's a conversation we do need to make. Or we do need to have. It's a conversation that needs to be made, that needs to be said, that needs to be focused and discussed on. Lamar Jackson yesterday had his worst performance of the season. And there was no excuses for how he performed yesterday. There was none. There was none. See, in the Colts game, they couldn't move the ball. You were missing. You were missing players. You couldn't move the ball. Didn't have enough weapons out there. It was a weird game. Okay. Against the Steelers, if receivers catch the football, you had, 7, 8, 9 drops? If the receivers catch the football, game's not even close. Okay. In this game, Lamar's terrible. You're not going to convince me Lamar played well in that game. No. The interception that he threw just before halftime was awful. He massively underthrew Rashad Bateman. It was not a comeback route. No, it was none of that. You had Rashad Bateman streaking down the sideline. Whether he would have won that matchup didn't matter. Lamar underthrew the hell out of that football. And that was a disgusting interception. It just goes to show he has little to no chemistry with Rashad Bateman. Week 10 of the season. Little to no chemistry with Rashad Bateman to massively underthrow that football. Terrible throw by him. Terrible. I see someone here saying like he didn't play well, but he wasn't terrible. Brody. If it wasn't for some of those penalties, Lamar Jackson would have more interceptions than he had in that game. Let's not try to excuse it. The man was not good yesterday. He was terrible. He made some plays here and there, but it doesn't excuse a lot of times where he just either he was hesitant in the pocket, not making good reads, missing dudes wide open. Again, the passing was not there. He missed 2 deep balls. Players down the field wide open. He had Zay Flowers streaking down the field for a touchdown, open, overthrew him. He missed guys. Cleanly missed guys. He missed throws. He turned the ball over. It's terrible. Don't need to make excuses here. We don't need to fluff it. When other quarterbacks are terrible, we're quick to point that out. Point out when Lamar plays terrible. I'm always going to be fair with it. I'm not about to sugarcoat it. When Lamar has terrible games, like he's had before, I'm going to say he played terrible. I'm going to hold him accountable for his play. He played terrible. This was easily the worst performance he's had all season. It's the best performance he's had all season. Simple as that. Lamar's deep ball continues to be an issue. In the past, it made sense for that to be an issue because you didn't have receivers that could consistently get open downfield. You didn't have guys that could get separation, and you were stuck in a scheme. That didn't even utilize the perimeter. So nobody could really utilize the sidelines and get open downfield in the perimeter. You're not in that situation. You have receivers that can get open in separation. You do. You have a scheme that opens up the field, in fact, spreads the field around. You have that. There's no excuse to play like that. Now, of course, quarterbacks are going to miss passes down the field every so often, so we do got to give some leniency. But still, it's our job to critique. And we have to critique when he's missing throws like that down the field. You can't miss Zay Flower on a gimme touchdown. To be fair, he had a beautiful pass to Keaton Mitchell. Perfect throw. Mitchell just couldn't make the catch. But you can't miss Zay Flowers streaking down the sideline for that. Lamar's deep ball has definitely been inconsistent, and it's an aspect that it's always needed work. We've always needed that aspect to improve, but it hasn't always been there. It's been streaky and it's been inconsistent, and that's an aspect we, as fans, kind of just hope improves. Well, we could call him out. In terms of the deep ball, it's not the best. It's not. He's made some improvements there, but it's still inconsistent. And sometimes you need consistency in that aspect for the deep ball. You can't just keep missing dudes open down the field, and then the fans say, "Oh, well, guys occasionally miss the passes down the field." Can't really say that. What's up, Jeremy? Yeah, congrats to your Browns. Deshaun Watson played beautifully in that second half and showcased why they paid him $230 million. He showcased that. They paid him that money to win games like that, and he did it. So, his deep ball, especially when it comes to throwing outside the numbers, has always been questionable. And that's an aspect people will continue to question until they see improvements there. So it's always been inconsistent, and it's always been streaky. And Lamar Jackson in that game, sorry, you're not going to convince me he had an okay game. You're not going to convince me he had a solid game. I personally, from what I saw, that was a terrible performance from Lamar Jackson. And it's okay to say it was a terrible performance from Lamar. Lamar doesn't have to be perfect. And every quarterback's going to have bad games. Mahomes had a terrible performance against the Broncos. I'm watching Josh Allen right now. He's playing terrible. It happens. You're going to have bad performances. Just got to bounce back from it. Well, Lamar, yesterday, it was a terrible performance from him. Honestly, he could have had 3 picks. Because that he had one of the picks that was in the end zone, a terrible throw. I don't even know what he was thinking. Was he trying to make a play there, or was he trying to throw it out of bounds? I don't think he was trying to throw it out of bounds. If he would have thrown it out of bounds, he knows where the sideline is. But it seemed like he just tried to make a play there and got picked off. He was lucky. He was very lucky. It was a holding call. And I heard some people say, well, he knew it was going to be a holding call. No, he didn't. You don't say you know it's going to be a holding call. When the flag comes out, both sides, both teams are just pointing at each other. You never know what that flag is going to be. You can't guarantee that flag's going to be on the defense. So if you're telling me Lamar Jackson threw that awful interception in the end zone because he assumed the flag was going to be on the defense, then that's just a bad look on him. So no, I'm not going to make that excuse to say he was assuming that. No, it was a bad play. If it was a situation where if it was like an offside situation, where you clearly saw somebody jump and you know it's a free play, all the world to him. But that was not what we saw there. Lamar himself, in these fourth quarters, has not looked great. Go take a look at the numbers. Go take a look at the performances. Lamar Jackson, as of recently, he has not performed well in the fourth quarter. The offense has not performed well in the fourth quarter. The defense has not performed well in the fourth quarter. This goes back to last season. It's showcasing itself this season as well. This is not a team that plays well in the fourth quarter. We can feel however we want to feel about Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That man showcased to you exactly how much he knows John Harbaugh, how he knows the gimmick of his team, and it probably zones into the main reason why we always struggle to beat Pittsburgh and why they occasionally get the best of us. Just like Tomlin says, we don't play all 4 quarters. We do not play all 4 quarters. If the game is tight, at times we may fold in the fourth quarter. If we're dominating a football game, we do absolutely nothing in the fourth quarter. Take a look at the Cardinals game. We got that huge lead in the fourth quarter. It should have been done. We gave up 10 points out of nonsense. The defense just started giving up touchdowns out of nowhere. Then you get that onside kick, and it's recovered because Nelson Aguilar decides to not catch the football. They get the ball back. They go down the field, score a field goal. Like, they were putting up points in the fourth quarter for no reason. They weren't going to come back in that game, but it just goes to show in the fourth quarter, this team's not performing well. Lamar has not looked great in fourth quarters. The offense has not looked great in fourth quarters. The defense has been really, really shaky and bad at times in the fourth quarter. They'll do well for 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, poof. Everything they did those first 3 quarters doesn't matter. Fourth quarter, they can't figure it out. At what point is this going to be figured out? At what point is this going to be improved on? How many fourth quarters are the Ravens going to continue to play this poorly? You can sit back and bring up all the numbers of what the defense is doing and all the numbers of what the offense is doing. You can bring up their defensive rating, their offensive rating. We're the top 10 offense or whatever. You can bring it up. Come fourth quarter, what is this football team doing? That's going to matter come playoff time. You're not going to dominate every team you face. It's not going to be a situation like the Lions and the Seahawks every single week. You're not getting that. What are you doing in the fourth quarter of football games? What are you doing in the fourth quarter of football games? Take a look at the numbers. Take a look at how they're performing. What are you doing in the fourth quarter of football games? from an offensive perspective, from a defensive perspective, offensive perspective, special teams perspective, and coaching perspective. Sorry, I was mumbling my words because I thought Russell Wilson got picked off there, and now he threw it in the dirt. Well, not Russell Wilson, but Josh Allen. I'm sorry. I thought Josh Allen threw another pick. Oh no, it was in his hands. I thought Josh Allen threw a third interception. So my words got fumbled again. I was about to say interception. But no, Josh Allen didn't get picked. The ball got deflected, but it ended up being incomplete. Now this one, incomplete again. All right, but yeah. What is this team doing in the fourth quarter from an offensive perspective, from a defensive perspective, from a special teams perspective, and from a coaching perspective? What are they doing? At this point moving forward, I'm not even concerned with what the Ravens are doing those first three quarters. I want to know what you're doing in that fourth quarter. Because come playoff time, those fourth quarters are going to matter. Come playoff time, whoever you face in the AFC, be it Kansas City, be it Jacksonville, be it potentially an AFC North opponent, come playoff time in the fourth quarter of these games, if we cannot put it together, because we haven't really put it together much in fourth quarters of the season. One game where we played all four quarters of football, the Seattle Seahawks game. The game against Seattle is probably the only time where we played all four quarters. What are we doing in fourth quarters of game, guys? What are we doing in the fourth quarter of these football games? That is what you want to be defined for. Because when the game is on the line, what are you doing? Allen just overthrows his receiver, and that's a turnover on downs. I don't know what he's doing tonight. Go for it on fourth down just for Allen to overthrow his receiver. I don't know. But what are we doing? What are we doing in the fourth quarter of football games? If that doesn't get fixed, are you sure you want to trust this team come playoff time? Because I'll tell you this right now. People have been talking this season about what the Philadelphia Eagles have looked like and how they've played these games. Philly has not looked as near, they have not even come remotely close to looking as dominant as they did look last season when they went to the Super Bowl. This year, it's been a little bit more sloppy, more turnovers. Defense hasn't been as great as last year. So they've been in a lot of close games. However, despite that, we have watched Philly come back down from double digits. We have watched Philly lock in fourth quarter games where you need to show up. Go look at how Philadelphia's played in the fourth quarters this season. It's a big part of why they've been able to win these games. When they're down, they lock in. Offense is executing, defense is executing. When they have a big lead and it starts to slowly crumble, we're watching this. Bills, are they a playoff team? I'm not even sure right now. But we're watching them put in these situations and figure themselves out. Baltimore in the fourth quarter, how bad have they looked? How bad have they looked? It's a problem. It's a serious, serious problem that cannot be ignored. At this point, I don't care what the Ravens do in the first three quarters of games. I'm done with that. I want to see what this team does in the fourth quarter. I need to see what this team does moving forward. I need to see what this defense does moving forward in the fourth quarter of football games. I need to see that. Because if this continues to be an issue, if this continues to be a problem, if they cannot play well in fourth quarters, they're going to meet another disappointing end in the playoffs. They're going to. You can't play well in the fourth quarter. I don't care if you have a lead. You're going to lose it, and you're going to lose that football game. Pittsburgh has shown it. Cleveland has shown it. And just like Mike Tomlin has said, my mic's cutting up. I don't know. The connection right now is actually the connection's been somewhat iffy. I don't know why. Is it good now? Is it fine? Is it fine? I'm like, because like I don't know. The connection's been cutting up, so it's not exactly the mic. I'm watching. My connection has been iffy tonight. It's like cutting in and out. So that's a big part of what's cutting the mic itself. My connection isn't 100% strong tonight. But Just trying to hold it up as much as I can. But yeah, these fourth quarters, come playoff time, it's going to be a problem. However you feel about it is however you feel about it. Mike Tomlin's right. He has us pegged to the T. We don't play all four quarters. And come fourth quarter, Pittsburgh knows if they can keep that game close between them and Baltimore in the fourth quarter, Baltimore will crumble. Offensively, they'll go ghost or turn the ball over. Defensively, they wouldn't make a stop worth a damn. They know us. They know us. Until the Ravens fix their fourth quarter issues, do not consider them going deep in the playoffs. Until they fix their fourth quarter issues, this team is not going anywhere come postseason. Because they have showcased to you, they will crumble when the pressure gets high in fourth quarters. Be it them having a lead or them trailing. They cannot handle dealing with the pressure in the fourth quarter. And until that aspect gets fixed, don't put your bet on this team going far. I'm going to stop it here for a quick second. I want to look at some of the comments. Probably going to have to go all the way up. I know y'all have been going at it in the comment section here. So let me see some of the things I might try to speak of. Do I think the Ravens are beating the Bengals? It's a 50-50 shot. I think it can go either way. Both Baltimore and Cincinnati need this game, so I think it's a 50-50 shot. I'd probably say hopefully Baltimore can win. Baltimore definitely has a good chance of winning, but both teams need this. And if I'm Cincinnati, this is a must-win game because you're now 5-4. You lose to Baltimore, you go to 5-5. I now start to question whether or not Cincinnati is going to make the playoffs. Since he loses to Baltimore here, their playoff chances take a massive drop. So, because now you're looking at it, both Pittsburgh and Cleveland won. Pittsburgh and Cleveland's at 7 and that's not 7. They're at 6-3. We're at 7-3 now. If Baltimore wins this one, they go to 8-3, and Cincinnati drops to 5-4, 5-5. My mistake. So, if Cincinnati loses this, they're in trouble. It's a must-win game. I think they're going to come out and play desperate. So it's up to Baltimore to try and win that game because they got to also play desperate too. They lose that game on Thursday, guess what? Cleveland or Pittsburgh can take first place in the AFC North. Hate to say this, John Harbaugh's the main culprit. No Super Bowl for us until he leaves. That could very well be the case, but who knows? As usual, Harbaugh is never held accountable. It's always someone or something else. You know how it is. At this point, it's not even the Baltimore Ravens, it's the Baltimore Lamars. Because the media is never going to hold Harbaugh accountable. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. Once you won a Super Bowl as a coach, you basically get excuses for everything. Oh my God, look at that fumble. Oh my God. I think Buffalo just got the football back. Look at this. A disgusting fumble for no reason. Well done. Well done, Denver. I remember the Ravens' first season. They had a B on their helmets with wings. That was, 96? That was such a long time ago. Does anyone remember those jerseys? Ooh, those were some old jerseys. Marcus Williams is a liability. Rockison also looked bad. Yeah, Rockison did not look great. And Marcus Williams right now, I don't even know why they continue to play him. He's clearly compromised. He's out there playing with one arm. Geno Stone has played good enough for you to trust him. But this team is all about their players. Guy is injured. He says he wants to go. Throw him out on the field. When are you going to wake up, Ravens? When are you going to wake up? The guy is a liability out there right now with one arm. How about you just keep playing Geno Stone and you just don't put out Marcus Williams there? How about that? No, we'll just keep throwing him out there. Well, hope that works in your favor. That's all I can say. Hope that works in your favor. Can't wait for the rematch with you guys. Don't let us hang around. We're 5-0 against the Ravens. Trust me, we'll let you guys hang around, and I wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore loses that one because John Harbaugh is not going to change his way. And Mike Tomlin seems to know exactly what John Harbaugh and this Ravens team is about. Like he says, we don't play four quarters. We don't play four quarters. And even if we have a lead, you can't trust us to hold on to it. So that fourth quarter, you better just hope the Steelers are incompetent in the fourth quarter. Otherwise, Pittsburgh's probably winning that game. I'd put money on Pittsburgh beating us in that game. I'm not even going to lie. As a Ravens fan, I hate that being the case, and I hope that doesn't happen. But this dude Tomlin has John Harbaugh pegged. It's all he just has his bags. He knows how we're gonna behave. I'm here for the therapy after yesterday's game. Harbaugh's been 44, 45 since after the Super Bowl year, in which he didn't even contribute to up until Lamar's first career start. Yeah, I know he was just under 500. From being under 50% to being 70%, Harbaugh's getting bailed out. He's getting bailed out, but there's also been some issues that aren't specifically just on Harbaugh. So it is what it is with that. Yeah, and yeah, he should have been. He was gonna be fired in 2018, but Lamar saved his job. I realize far too many people are okay with mediocre. Yeah, a lot of people are okay with just being mediocre. A lot of people are okay with mediocrity. It is what it is. I would have fired Harbaugh after the 2021 season. Many people would have, but he's not going anywhere. Geno Stone for MVP. I don't see that happening. I so badly want Cincinnati to miss the playoffs. Well, losing a game against Baltimore on Thursday could put their playoff hopes in danger. I think that's a must-win game for Cincinnati. AK, it's the same old Ravens. They are what they are, pretty much. Don't expect much to change at this point. First Take will most likely not address Josh Allen's play. I don't care what First Take does. I really don't. Okay, the media is all about narratives. If you're there for the entertainment, be there for the entertainment. But don't actually take what they say seriously when it comes to sports takes. I don't care what they say about Josh Allen. It's the media. I know what First Take's gonna be about. They're about driving narratives. They're going to drive narratives. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. They're going to drive narrative. It is what it is. Ravens are extremely slow to change. Yeah, well, when you have the same head coach for 15 plus years, you're not really going to change much. Especially when you have a head coach that's stubborn and isn't willing to change his ways. That's why Greg Roman stayed for 2 more seasons than necessary. Pretty much. I don't like John Harbaugh. A lot of people don't like John Harbaugh at this point. Harbaugh should be ashamed of himself after blowing another 2-possession lead. Nothing's going to change. We just didn't execute that day. We'll get it right next time. Why does he like Justice Hill so much? Does someone know? It's not really about liking Justice Hill. He likes the idea of utilizing all his backs. So instead of just sitting there and sticking with one guy that may be cooking or feeding the hot hand, he wants to alternate and rotate between all his backs. That's just been the Harbaugh way. It's always been the Harbaugh way. And it's probably going to continue to be the Harbaugh way. Nothing's going to change. Ravens are a good team, but in-game adjustments have always been poor. And it's not going to change anytime soon. Their in-game adjustments will continue to be poor, and they'll probably continue to cost them games as John Harbaugh stands on the sideline looking confused, looking like Ron Rivera, acting like he don't know what's going on. And then he's going to start yelling at the refs when things don't go our way. You know what's going to happen. Ravens turning into the Falcons. Bro, we've been the Falcons. We've been the Falcons over the last couple of years. Well, it's not the first time someone's made that statement. It's not the last. People were making that statement throughout 2022. So they're not turning into it. At this point, they are. They are the Matt Ryan Falcons. That's what they are right now. You're not fully sure you can trust them. They're the Matt Ryan Falcons post-Super Bowl. And Joker was wide open in the middle. What is the soft prevent zone? I don't even know what they were doing there. I don't know what they were thinking was going to work. I just don't understand the plan in that one. It was. You see, there's a side that's being exploited. Why not fix the issue? Why not make the adjustment? I don't know what they were thinking. We lost this game in the trenches. We've lost a lot of games in the trenches. The Browns are good. We got to give them some credit. I gave the Browns enough credit in my post-conference. When I was doing my live stream after the game, I've already given them their credit. Yeah, they're a playoff-bound team. That doesn't excuse what happened in the game. We already knew the Browns were good. They were considered the #1 defense league. It doesn't excuse you guys losing like that. I don't care if they could be considered the best team in football. It doesn't make an excuse for you to lose. If you're supposed to be on par with the best teams in football, you don't choke away a 14-point lead. And you don't consistently get beat by a defense over and over again. Somebody step up. When are these playmakers just going to make plays? When are these guys going to do their jobs? When is it going to be consistent? Probably never under John Harbaugh. Allen's going to try to run it here himself. Okay, that's nice. Let's see if they get a touchdown out of this. We need to win this Thursday or else this season could go downhill real quick. Argument could definitely be made that could be the case, especially knowing the schedule's only going to get harder from here. Stanley's not reliable anymore. 2 backup tackles down the stretch. We're getting abused pretty much. Haven't seen Stanley has just not been good. Who do you think is favored to win Coach of the Year? I have no clue. I have no clue. Who's the head coach for the Texans? D'Amico Ryan? Whoever the head coach of the Texans is, he'll win Coach of the Year if the Texans make the playoffs. I'll say that. I can't defend Lamar this week. Lamar doesn't need defending, okay? When he plays good, it'll speak for itself. Even if the media wants to push whatever narrative it is. I'm not going to sit here and try to constantly defend him. I'll only defend Lamar, or I'll only speak in terms of people criticizing Lamar for things he's not responsible for. But I'm not going to be this Lamar Jackson defender. You are free to do that, though. Touchdown here for the Bills. Looks like they're going to tie this game up. Worst performance of the season? Absolutely. I think he also sucked in the Cardinals game, second worst game of the season. We just didn't talk about it because we won. He wasn't terrible in the Cardinals game. He just didn't do anything. I looked at the Cardinals game similar to the Colts game. Because in the Cardinal game, he wasn't awful. He didn't turn the ball over. He just passed the opening drive where he scored that touchdown. Lamar did a whole bunch of nothing. So it was hard for me to say much of anything because he did a whole bunch of nothing. Him and the offense did a whole bunch of nothing. The defense had to set up the offense in those circumstances because they couldn't really move the ball. So I don't think he sucked in that game. It was just a whole bunch of nothing. So it was a meh kind of game. Lamar has struggled with the deep ball. That is true. But according to statistics, he's the 7th best thrower of 30 to 50-yard deep throws. Or when it comes to 30-yard deep throws, he's made a lot of throws down the field 30 yards. But he's probably taken like 2 or 3 50-plus yard shots. Like the only one he's converted of 50-plus yards was that week 2 pass to Zay Flowers. Past that, he has yet to complete another 50-plus yard throw down the field. But those 30, yeah, he's completed a good chunk of 30. It's not like this, but again, so stats can trick you. Stats can they can really trick you, bro. Statistics can they can do a great job of pushing one agenda and tricking you, especially if you don't put context into it. The Mitchell situation yesterday is just beyond me. Like, why only 3 touches? I don't know. It's John Harbaugh being John Harbaugh. It's John Harbaugh running his philosophy. We're going to use all our guys. He's been doing it for years. Nothing's going to change. His deep ball down the middle is okay. Yeah, it's decent. But down the sideline is just unreliable. It's awful down the sideline. He has not converted a lot of those passes down the sidelines. He's made some good throws at times, but once he goes 40-plus yards down the sideline, I have not seen much of those deep throws from the sideline perspective. It has not been a lot of connections there. It's connected sometimes, but a lot of times he's just missing dudes down there. It was a good game for y'all. I mean, for Cleveland, yeah, definitely. Harbaugh needs to be door dashing if we open up the run game. In the second half, this game would have been a blowout, and Lamar could relax more. I mean, even if you open up the run game, it doesn't guarantee that it doesn't guarantee that it would have been a blowout. It does not. Opening up the run game doesn't automatically guarantee it, especially because it depends. Especially because the Browns were doing a good job stopping Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. Maybe they wouldn't have stopped Keaton Mitchell, but we'll never know because Harbaugh didn't give him a chance. So even if they would have opened up the run, they would be opening up the run with Gus Edwards and Justice Hill because they didn't play much of Keaton Mitchell. And I don't think that was going to do much for you. We always do dumb stuff when we win, and I don't know what's up, but Thursday will be here fast, so we better be ready. Yeah, I better be ready. If they're not, they'll just go to 7-4 and start to watch the season wane down and slip from their hands. Lamar hasn't looked great in the fourth quarter because Harbaugh has us play conservative. Can't put that on Lamar because even Brady couldn't control Belichick, right? Well, here's the thing, Future. I would agree. The Ravens do play conservative at times in the fourth quarter. So you can't put that on Lamar. I'm not going to put the conservative decision that Harbaugh makes on Lamar. But what you will have to put on Lamar is some of the plays he makes. The turnovers that have happened where he has directly thrown the ball to the other defenders, where he has fumbled the ball, where he's turned the ball over, that has to be held on him. No way this is returned for a touchdown. Okay, nah. You cannot continue to take all the blame off of Lamar. You can't do that. Lamar at times has not looked good at all in the fourth quarter. Lamar at times has missed wide open throws down the field in the fourth quarter. Lamar at times has turned the ball over in the fourth quarter. You cannot all blame that on Harbaugh. The missed throws can't be put on Harbaugh. The turnovers can't be put on Harbaugh. We cannot do that. Lamar is part of the problem. This is a team issue. Not just Lamar, not just Harbaugh. It is a team issue, and we cannot excuse Lamar's turnovers in the fourth quarter to try to up him up and pretend like he has nothing to do with the issues we've dealt with in the fourth quarter. No, no, no. He is part of the problem, and he himself's got to take a look in the mirror and say, I got to play well, especially in the fourth quarter. I was told I was being negative by family and friends because 2 weeks ago I said Lamar was bad against the Cardinals, but he really was. 157 yards, 0 touchdowns. He wasn't bad against the Cardinals. He just didn't do anything. There's a difference between being mad and bad. Bad is turning the ball over multiple times and cost your team the game. What Lamar did against the Cardinals was mad. And again, against the Cardinals, he didn't have 0 touchdowns. He had a touchdown pass. He threw a touchdown to, on the opening drive, he threw a touchdown pass to Mark Andrews in the back of the end zone. So it wasn't 157 yards and 0 touchdowns. Oh, wait, that made me talk about 2 weeks ago. No, that would be the Cardinals. Yeah, he had a touchdown pass there. So he wasn't bad in that game. He was just mad. He was just bad. That's what I said. It was just mad. It wasn't bad. At this point, I feel better down by 1 score than up by 1 score in the fourth. Many people feel like that. Do you think Ronnie Stanley needs to get shipped out? You guys keep saying that, but where are you going to ship him out to? Can Russell Wilson get this first down? Yes, he can. The guy can't stay healthy. Who wants a guy that can't stay healthy on that contract? Come on, guys. You keep saying ship him out. I know it. I hope there's a gullible franchise out there that's willing to take a left tackle that can't stay healthy and has a plethora of injury history over the last few years. I wish some other franchise would take that. But how are you going to pull that off? You keep saying ship him out where? What team is going to take a guy with his contract? Take a look at his contract. An injury-prone left tackle with his contract. Who's going to take him? You keep saying trade him. You keep saying ship him out. If we don't want him, who's going to take him on that contract? It's different if we're talking about him before he got paid. Fine. But on his contract, how are you going to move him? Come on, guys. You better, I don't know what to tell you. You better just hope somebody out there is gullible enough to take that contract on. Because the Ravens don't want to have to deal with any dead money from this. You hope somebody's willing to take that contract. It's Harbaugh's job to make sure the team doesn't crumble after one mistake and lose the game. It is his job. It's his job, and it's up to his coordinators to also follow him in that aspect to make sure they emphasize that to the players as well. To be fair, Browns defense is elite, and we smoked them in the first half. We didn't smoke them in the first half. We didn't. The pick six is a different conversation. We put up 10 points in the first half. That's not smoking them. Remember this, it was a 17, what was it? Was it a 17-9 game? I believe it was a 17-6 or 17-9 game heading into halftime. We scored 10 offensive points. We did not smoke them in the first half. Past the Keaton Mitchell touchdown, we didn't do anything else offensively. We missed out on the Keaton Mitchell touchdown because he couldn't get it. Lamar missed somebody else again, and then the pick happened. We didn't do much in the first half. We weren't smoking them in the first half. It was 17-9 or 17-6, but 7 of those points came on a pick six. That's not smoking them. Our offense was not moving the ball well past one drive where they got in the end zone, scored a touchdown. Browns definitely wanted to win more. Ravens have been steamrolling teams at the bank, so Browns definitely came determined to not be embarrassed. Ravens bought into their own hype. Reality hit hard. If at this stage you're buying into your own hype, then at this point, I don't even want to follow the rest of the season. If this is a team that's going to buy into their own hype at week 10, if what you're saying is true, because I don't believe they bought into their own hype, they just got flat out beat. And they keep falling. It's a process that they've been doing consistently. It's a trend that they've been doing consistently. I don't think it's an excuse like they got what's it called? They bought into their own hype and they were feeling themselves. I don't think it was that. They got outplayed, they got outmanned, they got outcoached. And it's something that's been consistent. That's what I think that happened. That's legit what I think happened. I don't think they bought into their own hype. If this team, after the way they choked in 2019, if they really are buying into their own hype, wrap the season up now. I don't care what happens. If this is a team that really bought into their own hype in week 10, pack this team up now. I don't care what happens. Because they're not going to do a damn thing in the playoffs if that's the type of team they are. I don't think that's the case. I think they just got outbeat. They got outplayed, they got outmanned, they got outcoached. That's simple as that. That's how I think it happened. And it's a trend that has been happening over the last couple years. You have to play 60-minute football. They don't play 60 minutes of football. They have yet to do that consistently. The only game this season where they played 60 minutes of football would be against the Seahawks. They have yet to do anything past that. Most of the season, we haven't seen them even down late to see what the game plan is if they're down on the board. Something like that will definitely cost us in the postseason. We did that in 2019. All of a sudden, you're down in the fourth quarter. You were down in the second half. You didn't know what to do. Yeah, he needs to get cut or traded. First of all, I'm not gonna. I already said what I said about trading. You're not trading. No one's taking that contract, and the Ravens are not cutting him. The amount of dead money they would take in the cap, they're not doing that. It's easy to just say cut a guy, but the cap space they would have to absorb from cutting Ronnie Stanley is enormous. And then all of a sudden, we'll be here as fans complaining why they can't get this or that player, while remembering they cut Ronnie Stanley. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. With his contract, you can't cut him. With his contract, you can't cut him. Could be wrong, but the last time I remember seeing the Ravens play 4 quarters football was when they won the Super Bowl against the Niners. Of course, that was not really the last time they've played 4 quarters of football. Not necessarily. And even in that game in the Super Bowl, they did not really play 4 quarters of football, to be very honest. They played 1/2 of football, a little bit of the third quarter, the lights went off, and the offense disappeared, and the defense just kept giving up touchdowns. And all of a sudden, it came down to the wire. You were up 28-6. And all of a sudden, here you were sitting at your spot here with the game being 34-28, with them 34-29, with them having a chance to win this game and take the lead. So, nah, I mean, this has been a consistent thing under Harbaugh. What I feel like when we always lose, it's always some sort of choke or heartbreak. We can't ever just have a normal loss. Because the Ravens, when you have the same philosophy and you lose football games the same way, you're going to deal with the same process over and over again. What's going on, Tim? Appreciate you stopping by. We need to stop being predictable. Yeah, it's not going to happen under Harbaugh. Be the bullies that I know we can be. Probably not going to happen. And play 60-minute ball. I would hope for that to be the case, but I'm still not sure that's going to be the case. I would hope for that to be the case, but I doubt it. It's the mentality of going conservative with the league. Not going to change. They'll keep going conservative. It's a John Harbaugh special. It's the John Harbaugh way to be conservative. Oh, that is a beautiful throw-in catch right there. Allen to Davis, right between the defenders. Great throw by Josh Allen there. I hate that mentality. They're not going to get rid of the conservative mentality. They're not. Lamar Jackson does not lose back-to-back games. Yeah, well, you hope that could be the case. You hope, but I mean, we have had moments where we've lost back-to-back games. Why is there no one talking about Trevor Lawrence? He's been playing worse than Lamar, and Lamar's still getting more hate. Well, I mean, see, y'all keep saying no, and I just addressed all the quarterbacks here. I know you're not talking about me specifically, you're talking about the media, but did they just turn the ball over again? What the hell? That's 4 turnovers. That's 4 turnovers for the Buffalo Bills. I literally looked down. Oh my, Allen fumbled that. That was Josh Allen fumbling the ball. I literally looked down for a second and they fumbled the ball. What? What? Yo, the Bills and Bengals, if they keep playing like this, they're going to miss the playoffs. Oh my God, what's wrong with this season? John Harbaugh is more of a cheerleader than a coach at this point. He's more of a game manager than a coach, than a head coach, because he just manages everything else. He kind of just lets the coordinators he lets the coordinators and the other coaches do whatever they want. They just handle everything else. What the what? Wow. 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 Are you giving up on the season? No, I don't see the need to give up on the season. If I was going to give up on the season, I would just choose not to watch football anymore. I'm never going to give up on the season. There's no reason to give up on the season. So I have no interest in doing that. There's still, we got 7 more games of football to be played. I have no interest. No, actually, yeah, we have 7 more. 7 more games to play this season. I have no interest in giving up on the season in Week 10. Who gives up on the season at this point? It's way too early to try to give up on the season. Yeah, Josh, that's on you, bro. You can look up at the TV. That was on you, bro. You can look up at the prompter. You fumbled that. You fumbled that. Miscommunication there. Let's see what else we got here. Don't know why the Ravens are not giving Keith Mitchell the ball in the second half. Because of the John Harbaugh way, and it's the same old, same old. If you heard Harbaugh, apparently there was some concerns by the offensive coaches in terms of giving him too many looks and too many carries. Like, that makes sense. And people were trying to say, hey, it's a valid point. I get it. The point that people brought up was he was actually really poor in pass protection, which is fine. You don't need to bring him out there for snaps where he's protecting. Why don't you bring him out here for snaps where you know you're going to run the football? We know his pass protection is poor. Keith Mitchell's pass protection right now is very poor. So that was where the concerns came from, according to Harbaugh. But my question here is, why not just bring him out for the snaps where you could, bring him out for those moments where he's going to run the football instead of bringing him out for moments where he would have to pass protect? I mean, if you're going to utilize all three backs, shouldn't you know the strength and weaknesses of these guys and then bring out guys in certain situations? If you're going to use all three backs, why not bring Gus out when you want to pass protect and then bring out Keith Mitchell for the moments you got to run? You don't have to bring out Keith Mitchell when you're going to throw the football. But it is what it is, If the Bengals and Bills miss the playoffs, the Chiefs automatically go into the Super Bowl. Potentially. But who else knows? First of all, I don't even know why you put the Bills on that. The Bills have yet to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. The Bills are not a threat to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have had their number for years now. The Bills are not a threat, okay? It's the Bengals. The Bengals are the threat to the Chiefs because they have beaten that team before. So it's not about the Bills. It's about the Bengals. Trade Bateman, I feel like we're not even using him right now. We're just wasting his talent. Obviously, they like Zay better. First of all, Casper, we're past the trade deadline. You keep saying trade people. Are you talking about the end of the season? Because we can't trade it. The deadline's already passed. Are you talking about when the season's over in the offseason to trade Bateman? Because you can't trade him now. It's already too late. And I don't even know if they're going to trade Bateman. And he doesn't really have a resume. Actually, who knows? You probably could find a way to trade him. As long as he stays healthy. There's nothing you can do right now about it. We finished 12-5 or 11-6, division round loss, probably blah. Boy Wonder, that's exactly what I predicted. I predicted us to go 12-5 and lose in the divisional round. It's probably going to be the case here. Wish Ray Lewis would coach the Ravens. Yeah, that's not happening. That's just not happening. Thoughts on the basketball season so far? Oh, perfect. As I watch one team frustrate me, another team continues to do what I expected to do. People had concerns when the Miami Heat were 1-4. I heard it. Your team's 1-4. You ain't got any concerns? No. I have no concerns. I do have one, but that's about how long it's going to take Tyler Hero to get back. I need Hero back, but because Tyler Hero was having a great start to the season before he suffered that sprained ankle. I think it's a grade 2 sprained ankle. He's gonna be out for the next several weeks. So losing Tyler Hero sucks. I just want our guys to be healthy. It is what it is there. But in terms of what I'm seeing from Miami, since they were 1-4, they won 5 straight games. They've won 5 straight games. Bam Adebayo is finally playing the way I would want him to play, where he's actually not being conservative. He's being aggressive and actively looking for his shots. He looks like he could be a bona fide all-star player this year. Duncan Robinson has completely transformed his game. I mean, this guy's he's hitting floaters, he's driving to the basket, he's finishing across the rim. I don't know where this was from Duncan Robinson, but apparently he's finally living up to the contract we gave him. Thank you. Like, Duncan Robinson's not just hitting threes anymore. He's driving to the basket. He's making cuts to the rim. He's pulling up for floaters. He's assisting the ball. Like, I didn't know Duncan Robinson had this in him. But he's showcasing that. Duncan Robinson is becoming a very, very good asset. Josh Richardson is finally starting to showcase why we brought him. He was playing good defense, starting to hit some shots. I like what I'm seeing from him. Drew Smith started to make some nice plays. Good on him. We're going to need that come playoff time. And then the rookie, Jamie. He's been great. I love what he's doing offensively. I love what he's doing defensively. He's making the right plays. A lot of us Heat fans are sitting back and saying Jamie is playing more like Jimmy than Jimmy's playing right now. Which again is regular season Jimmy Butler. Don't come to me about how Jimmy Butler's playing. I don't care what Jimmy Butler's doing in the regular season. It's November. Holler at me in April. Let's see what Jimmy's doing then. We know this is what Jimmy Butler does. You take the positives and negatives with Jimmy Butler. And one of the negatives you deal with when it comes to Jimmy Butler is he's not going to put his best efforts up there when it's the regular season. So don't come to me talking about Jimmy Butler's averaging 18 points on that. No. It's regular season Jimmy Butler. Hit me up come postseason. But again, I like what I'm seeing from the team. And right now, we're getting to showcase what we have from these young guys. So Spoelstra's having a fun time putting lineups together and figuring out who he can trust. And because he's able to figure out who he can trust, come playoff time, these young guys are going to be great. All we need is Tyler Hero and Caleb Martin to get healthy, and we're going to be good. But I have little to no concerns about the Miami Heat. See, unlike Harbaugh, I trust Eric Spoelstra. I completely trust Eric Spoelstra. He's the best coach in basketball. He knows what he's doing. So I actually have trust. in Eric Spoelstra in the Miami Heat. I'm not concerned. As for everything else that's happening, Philadelphia is having the time of their life. No James Harden here. Tyrese Maxey with the 50 ball the other night. He's finally showcased. He doesn't have to be held back by James Harden hogging the basketball, so Tyrese Maxey can go off. And again, it's another thing that kind of pisses me off because we should have drafted Precious. We should have drafted Tyrese Maxey, but that's a different conversation. Philadelphia is thriving right now. Hopefully it's something that can actually be built and produce come playoff time. Maybe the duo that Philadelphia needed was Embiid and Maxey, because right now things are smooth sailing. Celtics still the Celtics, it's fine. Milwaukee's been kind of interesting with Dame and Giannis, but they haven't been taking over so far. Pacers are kind of just in it right now. Knicks have been looking nice to start off the season early on. Let's see if they keep that up. And past that, the Eastern Conference is the Eastern Conference. It's going to be weird, but at the end of the day, it'll be fine. As for the Western Conference, Nuggets are still the Nuggets. It's cool. Sacramento's actually dealing with some issues. It's been nice to watch Wemby play. We actually faced off, what was it, last night when we faced off against Wembanyama? I like some of the things I saw from him, but you can still tell he's a rookie. And he's having a solid rookie season, but because people claimed he was going to be the next greatest thing of all time or whatever, or he was a chosen one, whatever the nonsense they were throwing out here, he was supposed to be the next guy. They hyped him up the way they hyped Zion up, and if he doesn't have a historical rookie season, people are going to sit back and act like he's a bust. I'm not judging Wemby off of that. I just want to see him have a very productive rookie season. I'm not about to declare him the next Tim Duncan for the Spurs. We're not doing that here. We're not. I'm going to let Wemby develop, showcase what he can do. He's been playing well. But San Antonio, you're a young team. You have a huge lead against a basketball team there. You can't blow that lead. But again, you were facing off against Miami. And when it comes to leads, Miami just finds a way to come back. That's not the type of team that you want to deal with. Like, you have a huge lead against Miami, you're not guaranteed to hold on to that lead. That's just how the Heat are. So it's a very difficult case there. But yeah. Spurs have looked nice. Spurs have looked nice here and there. They've made some things. Warriors been kind of up and down. They're still trying to figure it out. Minnesota's looked relatively nice. I like that. Lakers have been bad. I don't know what to tell you. Lakers, Anthony Davis dealing with injuries. LeBron, they tried to start this nonsense. Like, I don't even know what Darvin Ham was talking about, putting LeBron on a minute restriction. That wasn't going to happen. That was not going to happen. I'm only going to play him, 30 minutes a game. Yeah, sure. That's exactly what LeBron's going to play every single game. That got cut out real quick. Either way, Lakers still trying to figure things out. And then you have the Clippers, which I feel are the most interesting team in basketball right now. The Clippers are awful. Oh, yeah, the Grizzlies suck, by the way. The Grizzlies, they suck. They got no jaw. You already lost Adams. Steven Adams is done for the season, so it is what it is. Memphis is just bad. They got Grant Williams there. Houston's also a very interesting team. And Ime Udoka is coaching the hell out of that team. Shout out to them. And Brooks is actually looking really, Dylan Brooks is looking really nice over there in Houston. That was another to talk about. But yeah, the Clippers. The Clippers are so interesting, man. The Clippers are such an interesting team. I think they're the most interesting team in basketball right now. You got Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, and they are struggling to score 100 points in a basketball game. Those four guys are on the same team, and they're struggling to score. They are 0-4 since they've traded for Harden. They have not won a basketball game with James Harden on that roster. I don't know when they're gonna win a basketball game, bro. I'm telling you, if you saw Kawhi's face, at the end of the game, bro, woo, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. They're gonna have to figure it out. Somebody's gonna sacrifice, and I'm telling you, bro, one of those guys gonna have to go to the bench. Now here comes the problem: do you put Russell Westbrook on the bench, or do you put James Harden on the bench? James Harden already came out and said, I don't play within the system, I am the system. Can you put a guy like that on the bench? Russell Westbrook has showcased he can play. Now, of course, James Harden used to be a former sixth man when he was at OKC early on in the beginning of his career. What's going on, Luis? How you doing, man? He used to be a six man starting off his career with OKC. But ever since he went to Houston and became the guy, Harden has no interest coming off of the bench. He's always wanted to be that guy that starts. So, can you really put a guy like that on the bench? I don't know. You could put Russ on the bench because Russ has showcased he can be effective coming off the bench. But the problem is, he came here, did everything he needed to do right, and he had played so well that Tyronn Lue was like, yeah, I trust you. You're a starting point guard. They came out in the beginning of the season saying Russ is the starting point guard. So Russ is going to start with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So you already declared him to be the starting point guard. How do you go to Russ after that and say, we got to have Harden out there, we're putting you on the bench? The Tyronn Lue is dealing with a bunch of egos right now, and I do not know how that is going to work out. But somebody's going to have to go to the bench. Somebody is going to have to go to the bench, and it's going to come down to Harden or Westbrook. Now, if you put James Harden on the bench, how is he going to take it? Because if Harden goes to the bench, he's going to have a hissy fit. At the same time, if you put Russ on the bench, you're going to betray everything you told him. You told him he'd be the starter. You told him he'd earned this. You told him he deserves to be there. And then all of a sudden you trade for Harden, and now he can't be the starter? No. Clippers are in a very, very disgusting situation right now. They better figure something out because they can't win. Last but not least, the Dallas Mavericks. They're killing it right now. Luka is definitely the MVP early on. He's putting on amazing numbers. I'm not going to lie. They are off to a great start. I had my concerns for this Dallas Maverick team because there's not a lot of defense on this basketball team. Because Kyrie and Luka don't play defense. Yet they're closing out games. I can't hate. They're closing out games. And Luka's been playing out of his mind. So shout out to Luka. Shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to the Mavericks because they're playing great basketball right now. I can't even hate. So yeah, in terms of how I'm looking at basketball right now, it's pretty interesting. But we're still, a little bit early in the season. And I'm still trying to figure out how this whole in-season tournament's gonna go. Because some of the games are like matchups for the in-season tournament, and I'm not fully sure how that's really aligned. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's how I feel about some basketball here. If Shannon Sharp was talking about Lamar in front of your face, what would you do? What type of question is that? What do you want me to do? First of all, okay, guys. What is with y'all? Y'all need to chill out as fans. Okay? Lamar's my quarterback. I got a lot of love for Lamar Jackson. But I'm not one of those fans that's going to die for Lamar Jackson, bro. If someone's willing to criticize Lamar, so be it. If he's going to criticize Lamar to my face, okay. That is not me. He has said nothing about me personally. He wants to sit back and say Lamar is trash, he can't be trusted. Okay, that don't affect my life. Like, bro, I'm not going to sit here and fight Shannon Sharp for Lamar Jackson. For what? Bro, okay, cool. You said Lamar Jackson. Oh, that might be a fumble. You said Lamar Jackson. You can't trust him or whatever. He's a terrible. I don't know what he said. Whatever he said about Lamar is whatever he said about Lamar. He could be saying all these negative things about Lamar. I'm going to be like, all right, Shannon, you're entitled to your opinion. I might try to debate him, but I'm not going to do anything. You set it up as if I'm going to get extremely heated because Shannon Sharp's saying something bad about Lamar, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to fight him. For what? I'm not about to fight that grown man for another grown man. I'm not going to sit here and fight Shannon Sharp over Lamar Jackson. That is not my legacy. That's why sometimes y'all throw things out here when these trolls come in. Lamar is a terrible quarterback. He's a running back. He's overrated. Okay, what's that got to do with me? That is not me. That is not my legacy. That is something he got to deal with. I got to go to work in the morning. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not about to fight nobody over another man. For what? Come on. Y'all be saying some of these things. You expect someone to actually go and throw hands with Shannon Sharp because they don't like his take about Lamar Jackson? What? Man, it is football. It is sports. I got a lot of love for this sport. I got a lot of love for football. I got a lot of love for my quarterback. But I'm not about to fight another man or anybody for my quarterback. What? Because they said he's a running back? Because they said he's overrated? Because they said they don't trust him? Okay, you're entitled to your opinion. I ain't got to agree with it, but I ain't going to throw hands for it. But they got nothing to do with me. That's why it's always funny. Sometimes these trolls be saying things. Your quarterback's a running back. He's garbage. He's overrated. Okay. What's that got to do with me? Like you acting like you talking about me. That ain't my brother. That ain't my father. That's not my friend. We not related. What you want me to do about it? He's a running back. Okay, cool. You're entitled to your opinion. What you want me to say? This ain't my legacy. That's his. This ain't my reputation. That's his. I'm trying to live my life. Come on, guys. Don't set that statement up like what you gonna do if Shannon Sharpe is hating on Lamar in front of you. I'm gonna let that man continue to hate. I'm gonna sit back and say, I don't agree, Shannon. Or I don't know, man. I would say this. I might debate him, but I'm not about to start throwing hands with Shannon Sharpe because I don't agree with his take. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Maybe some teenagers got the guts to do that. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not trying to pay the hospital bills I would have to pay. But you're not even the hospital bills. Pay the hospital bills and get arrested for that? Come on, bro. I ain't doing no dumb. Nah. Come on, bro. Shannon Sharpe is free to say whatever he wants to say. I don't care. I don't really care. He's free to make his assessments however you want to make it. I put Shannon's. That's funny. Justin Tucker's on the decline too. Yeah, I don't even know what's wrong with this team. Everybody's just playing bad. Justin Tucker might be having a down year. 3rd down and 7 was very weird here. They picked up the 1st down, bro. If Denver wins this, Bills are in serious trouble if Denver wins this. But yeah, Justin Tucker's probably having a down year this year. That's not a good thing. But I don't think I'm gonna sit back and say he's regressing because he's having one bad year. Let's not jump the brakes. If he's back here next year doing what he does, no one's gonna really be saying anything. At least your quarterback ain't Josh Allen. Bro has 3 turnovers tonight. The Madden curse is 100% real. Also, he has 91 total. Yeah, he's led the league in turnovers since he's been drafted. Since he stepped foot in the league in 2018, Josh Allen is leading the league in turnovers. So it is what it is there. No one wants to admit coaching is a major issue. They're not even using Tucker properly. He has more field goals blocked this year than before. It's not really a situation where they're not using Tucker more properly. They're just not. It's the special teams not setting up properly and actually protecting. Special teams has not been giving Tucker. In the past, we wouldn't have to worry about Tucker getting blocked. Usually when you deal with kickers getting blocked, it's because they kick low. Tucker's not a kicker that kicks low. He kicks that football high. The problem is that line for the special teams is doing an awful job at blocking. So that because of that, this dude in Justin Tucker's had multiple kicks blocked this year because the line has been so poor. And I don't know what else to tell you about that. It's been such a poor execution. It's been such a poor season overall for the special teams because they've been poor and just terrible overall at executing. Why is it no one saying anything about Marcus Williams out there playing with one arm? I mean, you said no one in terms of the media or what? Because I have expressed several times over how Marcus Williams should be benched. You speaking of in terms of the media? Who exactly? Because you can't say no one is stating that. I have been on record saying that they should probably not bring Marcus Williams back because he's playing with one arm. And I said it in my recap yesterday. I said it in the live stream yesterday specifically. And I said it again tonight. Marcus Williams should probably not be out here. He was down already. We're not going to pretend it's a fumble. He was down already. Looks like Denver might actually score a touchdown here. They got a 1st down. I don't know. They're inside the red zone here. they might actually be able to score a touchdown. I should turn this fan off. But I'm going to leave it a little bit longer. Ooh, that could have been a pick. But that was already a flag on the play. Now Sean Payton's pissed for some reason. But yeah, the Ravens are A team that continues to hurt themselves. They're a team that continues to make mistakes. Not much to say about the Ravens, honestly, at this point. I think we know not much is going to change. We know not much is going to change. As a fan, you just got to hope. Like I told you guys yesterday, as a Ravens fan, you just have to hope. There's nothing else to say. You just have to hope. 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 I'm sorry, I thought they were about to review this. You just have to hope if you're a Ravens fan that they can fix these issues, or these issues don't come up come playoff time. But again, no one has spoken about how bad, or oh my goodness, I thought he was about to run in for a touchdown. No one has been addressing consistently or actually looking to fix the fourth quarter situation with Baltimore. Because offensively and defensively, last year offensively and defensively they were terrible in the fourth quarter. This year offensively and defensively they're terrible in the fourth quarter. When is that going to be fixed? When is that going to be addressed? When are they going to improve in those aspects? You cannot continue to play poorly in fourth quarters and think you're going to win every game. When are they going to fix that? Good evening, homie. What's up, bro? This offense reminds me of Cam Cameron 2.0. Some cases yes, some cases no. I'm not fully sure if I can fully compare it to Cam Cameron because they're not completely conservative the way Cam Cameron was. But again, I do see some of the similar issues there that we had with Cam Cameron, especially when it comes to the offense in the fourth quarter. It's problematic, man. It's very, very problematic. But again, nothing's going to change. Harbaugh likes to do things the old-fashioned way. He likes to do things his way, and he's not going to change from it. So if there's anything to really point at, if there's anything to really address in this state of the Ravens address, is that Harbaugh is going to continue to be who he's always been. Harbaugh is going to continue to coach this team the same way he's coached them in previous years. He's not going to change. He's not. To think he's going to change at this point, he's not. He's just like his brother. Oh my God, the Broncos have scored a touchdown. They have taken the lead with 5:06 left to go. Yo, Buffalo, if you lose this game, you're going to really hurt your playoff chances. Buffalo might be on the downfall, man. They may be regressing. They may actually be regressing. Allen played bad. I wonder, do the media criticize him like they did Lamar Jackson? Why are y'all so... What? Please tell me, why do you take the media so seriously with sports? Why are y'all so why are you so focused? Why are you so focused on what the media is saying about Lamar Jackson? Why are you so focused about what they're saying about other quarterbacks? Why do you care? We have all known for years. A fake! A fake! He dropped the ball! They're not going to get the extra point. It's going to be a 6-point game. Only the Denver Broncos can screw that up. Only the Denver Broncos can screw that up. The Bills can take the lead with a touchdown. They got 5 minutes left. Does Josh Allen have any nuts to be able to go down the field and score a touchdown? And yes, I said that. Why? Because he's been playing awful tonight. Showcase why you're a top-tier quarterback. Please. Your season could be on the line tonight. And Sean McDermott's job could be on the hot seat if they lose this. But why are y'all so fixated? Please tell me, why are y'all so fixated about what the media's got to say about these quarterbacks? You already know the media is about pushing narratives. They only push narratives. They're not here to give an objective take on the game. They're not going to sit back and from every aspect of the game, they're not going to sit back and say, the coach should have been better here, and that. The defense gave up this much in the fourth quarter. This happened offensively with the offensive line. The receivers weren't doing it. They don't do that. They don't. The media treats the NFL like the NBA. The media talks about the NFL like the NBA. They only focus on the star players. They don't care about anyone else. So they'll only focus on the quarterbacks. They don't look at anything else. At times, I'm not saying everybody in the media. We do have some analysts that are objective and look at every other aspect. Again, I know like Mina, definitely from ESPN. Mina's one of those. Dan Orlovsky, he's another one. Hell, he did that today. Context matters. You do have people in the media that's doing that. However, the media as a whole is just looking to push their narratives. If they have an agenda against a player, they're going to push that agenda against the player. When the player's playing good, crickets. Or he's supposed to be doing this. Or better prove it when it matters most. That's what you're going to get. When he's playing bad, time to criticize him. Whereas with other quarterbacks, they don't do that. Or other players, they don't do that. Some players, they criticize more than the others. It's the media. They have agendas to push. Stop taking what they say so seriously. After every game, I keep seeing, I say, oh, can't wait to see what the media is going to say about Lamar. You know what they're going to say. They're not going to change their tune. Unless the Ravens win the Super Bowl, nobody's changing their tune about the Ravens. They're not. The Ravens can blow out the Cincinnati Bengals Thursday night. They can beat them by 50. Nobody's changing their tune about the Ravens. Stop letting what the media says get to you. Stop letting what the media says affect you. Please. Please. Okay? Take shows like First Take, shows like Undisputed, and whatever you want to put up, they're here merely for entertainment. They're going to push their agendas. Just enjoy it for the sake of enjoying it. That's why sometimes if there's any show I watch in terms of sports talks, I watch First Things First occasionally. With Nick Wright and Wiles and Chris Broussard. At the end of the day, I go into that show knowing agendas will be pushed. No matter what happens, Nick Wright is going to push his Chiefs agenda as a Chiefs fan. I go into those shows knowing they're going to push their agendas. And they know they're going to push their agendas, but they have fun with it. It's all entertainment. Stop letting what these media people say about your favorite players affect you. Stop it. Let it go. They're not going to change. They've always been doing that. Not always. They've been doing this for the last 20 years. It's not going to change. Unless Lamar Jackson wins a Super Bowl, they're not changing their tune about how they speak about him. When he plays well, either they're going to sit back and say, we expect him to do that as an MVP, or we want to see him do it in the playoffs. He has nothing to prove in the regular season. When he plays bad, they will overly criticize him and question everything about him. Oh, he fumbled the ball again. What type of play was that? I'm lost for words what just happened. Cook broke free, started running down he broke free and took off, fumbled the ball bounces on the ground, he ends up picking it back up, and he takes it the distance. Well, he nearly takes it the distance, he gets dropped. He fumbled it and then recovered his own fumble. That could have been a disaster for them. Shannon don't like Lamar. That's his problem. That's his problem. The owner Biscotti agreed to keep Mitchell at the pregame warm-up yesterday. He was at the game. Yeah, I mean, Biscotti's usually at the game, especially the home games. You're right, bro. Worrying about what the media has to say is like worrying about what Harbaugh has to say after a difficult loss. You already know what it's going to be about. It's going to be the same story. You don't have to worry about what's going to be said. You know it's going to be the same story. So why put that worry on for yourself? Gotta win the Super Bowl. I didn't watch any of the shows today. I just watched Ravens control. Yeah, pretty much you know what they're going to say. It's going to be the same old, same old. So nothing's going to change. That's what sports debates are in this era. You're pushing narratives and objectives. You're pushing You're pushing narratives and agendas in order to meet a certain objective that you have. It's as simple as that. You know what it's going to be about. You know what they're going to do. So why overreact to it? Why be concerned about it, bro? Why be concerned about it? Every week, you don't need to be concerned about what the media is going to say about Lamar Jackson after a game like this. They're not changing their tune. You think all of a sudden Lamar has a great game against the Bengals, and all of a sudden Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith are going to change their tune? They're going to be like, oh, yeah, it's perfect. Perfect. Oh, man, he's proof. We never have to discredit him again. Let's talk about him let's talk about and protect him the way we protect Joe Burrow and yada, yada, yada. That's not going to change. They're going to be the same. They're going to be the same. They will absolutely be the same. You beat the Bengals. It'll be a whole lot of we expect this from Lamar Jackson. It's a nice performance, but we need to see him do it in the playoffs. We know what they're going to say about Lamar. And then when he doesn't do it, they question his ability as a thrower. They question his ability as a quarterback. They question, can he get it done? Will he choke in the ball? You know what the story is going to be about. Why press yourself over this? Let it go, guys. Stop bringing up the media. Stop bringing up the media. Watch the games, enjoy the games, move on. Shannon Sharp can like and dislike whoever he wants to. I personally don't care. If he dislikes Lamar, that's his problem. I don't care. Stop letting what these analysts get to you. Stop letting what they say get to you. Stop letting what they say and act affect you. Just enjoy football for the sake of football. We're in an era where you're watching so many people on social media go out and give their personal takes about things. Some of it can be objective. Some of it could be agenda pushing. Some of it could be assessing a team as a whole. Hell, we still have plenty of YouTubers out here that will push an agenda while also being objective and speak on every single aspect. If you want to get your fill on sports takes about how the people are viewing Lamar Jackson, look at some of these great channels that speak on these games. I'd rather just do that than to just watch all these analysts on television, because you already know what they're going to say. Stop letting what other people say about your quarterback affect you. Stop letting what other people say about your favorite players affect you. The media is always going to be the media. They have people they protect and people they're going to always come after because it's always going to bring a story. Win or lose, if you're ever on Twitter, what's going on, boss? If you're ever on Twitter, every time, I'm telling you, bro, it's nearly every day where you're on Twitter and you're seeing Lamar Jackson trending. He is one of the most, if not the most polarizing players in sports today. Anybody that talks about Lamar Jackson knows it's going to get clicks. The media is going to do what the media does. It's as simple as that. Stop letting the media affect your overall output, your overall feeling, your overall attitude. Stop letting them affect you. Their takes are going to be their takes. The agenda pushing is going to be the agenda pushing. They're not going to change. The only thing that would change is if Lamar and this Ravens team wins a Super Bowl. It's as simple as that. Nothing else is going to change. If the Ravens get in the playoffs and lose again, you'll deal a whole offseason of them questioning Lamar. You'll deal with the entire next regular season with them questioning Lamar and all of that. Nothing's going to change, guys. Stop letting the media affect you. Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and all these other guys are perfectly fine doing whatever they want to do because it gets clicks and it pushes agendas. They're not going to stop. Stop letting it affect you. Just watch Ravens content. Stay away from those other shows on TV. They always down the Ravens. They're free to say whatever they want. It gets clicks and they're pushing agendas to bring the attention to their shows. Television's already dying, so they got to do whatever possible to stay relevant. It is what it is. Just don't let it affect you. It's entertainment. It's all entertainment. They're not going to change their ways. So here we go. It's actually a 2-minute warning here. So we have 2 minutes left to go in the game, and the Bills are at the goal line with a chance to win this game. Buffalo has all 3 timeouts, so technically they don't score a touchdown here. They'll be fine. But Allen better find somebody quickly, or he could take it himself. Allen just scored a touchdown. So now it's going to be very interesting. Russell Wilson's going to have 2 minutes to go down the field and get into field goal range because his kicker and his holder and his kicker messed this up. So Buffalo took them only 3 minutes to go down the field, score a touchdown, and they're about to take the lead unless they mess up the extra point. Russell Wilson's played great tonight, so if he can go down the field against this Bills defense and win this game, it'll be a good look for them. Josh Allen has been up and down. He's a turnover machine, but hey, when you got to come up clutch, he came up clutch here. Now, this kicker better make this kick. You can't mess this up the way the Broncos messed this up. All right, they took the lead, 22-21. Russell Wilson, you've got 2 timeouts with 1:55 left. Go down the field and score a touchdown to guarantee a win, or go down the field, kick a field goal to hopefully win the game. You got all the time in the world to lead a game-winning drive. But yeah, that's really just it. Stop letting the media affect your overall tone, your overall attitude, and how things go. You got to. You just have to, guys. You just have to. Like, you can't keep letting them get to you like this. You just can't. You just can't. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that needs to be said here. Are you gonna watch next week's Monday Night Football game? Isn't it what's it called? Chiefs and Eagles next Monday? I mean, obviously, if it's Chiefs and Eagles next Monday, I'm going to watch it. I don't know what next week's Monday Night Football game is. Yeah, Chiefs Eagles. Obviously, I'm gonna be here for Monday Night Football. Chiefs Eagles. I'm not missing that. Not missing that at all. So that's the game everybody's gonna watch. That's a rematch of the Super Bowl. You got a Super Bowl rematch on Monday Night Football. Everybody's gonna watch that. Everyone's definitely gonna be on their seats, on their couches, watching that. So yeah. Denver's kicking situation has been awful today. So this is gonna be very problematic if they have to kick a field goal to win this game. Denver's probably gonna. I'm gonna put it out here. Denver's probably going to lose this game. I say it's a 60% chance Denver turns the ball over, a 30% chance Denver gets to field goal range and misses the kick. I'll say an 8% chance they kick a field goal in general and win this game, and then a 2% chance they win via touchdown. So they move the ball on the field. It's a home game. I'm thinking of going live in like 25 minutes. You think of going there live? You're like 25 minutes away from area. Hey man, if you have the ability to go watch the game live, go watch it live. Get yourself a ticket and go watch it. Buffalo might choke. Yeah, their defense has not been great this season. I'm not gonna fully put them there to choke just yet because we know this is the Broncos, and I've watched the Broncos fold in these situations. Or not even fold, but just crumble in these situations. Because all of a sudden a bad read's made, an interception thrown, a fumble happens. You just got to be a little bit careful here. Buffalo's going to have to use their first timeout because of an injury here. Either way, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about this State of the Ravens address. I'll be generous and at least let this game finish out before I actually end the live stream here, but I pretty much said everything I needed to say about the team right now, the strengths and weaknesses, the issues, the problems that are here, what needs to be addressed, and I kind of just went over the game in general. Now, I don't think anything's really going to change, especially not between now and Thursday, but, you know, at least we got to talk about how we feel about this. And again, so far, the season's going about what I predicted. I still said we would be 12-5. I still picked us to win the division. I still picked us to go to the divisional round and get beat again. So I don't have us in the Super Bowl this year. I never pictured us being in the Super Bowl. I hope, like I said, as a fan, the most basic thing any fan can do is hope when it comes to their football team. So I hope the Ravens make the Super Bowl. But if you had to ask me right now to put money on it, I would not pick the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl. I wouldn't bet my house on it. I wouldn't bet anything I own on the Ravens going to the Super Bowl. They are way too inconsistent, and I wouldn't trust them in the postseason until they show me why I should trust them. So it is what it is. I want to see if they can actually get this. Look at that drop. Look at that drop. What are your thoughts about thinking Aaron Rodgers saying he hopes to play in December? Yeah, I saw that he's looking to come back in December. It's his decision. I personally feel like he shouldn't try to test it out. You just suffered a major injury. You're coming back too soon. You suffered that injury in September, dude. You want to come back in December? I mean, again, it's his decision. If he feels okay to do so, do it. But I just think that he could. He's put himself at a huge risk because the Jets' offensive line is what got him hurt the first time. He's going to put himself at a huge risk of re-injuring himself and potentially ending his career for reals this time. Look at Russell Wilson actually trying to utilize his legs. That's interesting. Should we consider Keaton Mitchell as a kick returner as well, like when we really need to score, or is it too much of a... You don't know. You do not put Keaton Mitchell. You do not put Keaton Mitchell back there as a kick returner. You don't do that. You just don't do that. Okay? You leave Devin Duvernay there. That is his job. You do not put Keaton Mitchell out there in kick returns. Wilson's going to talk. Ooh, okay, picking up another first down. So they're moving the ball well. They're getting themselves into field goal range. We're getting closer to field goal range. We got to see. But they're letting the clock tick. Buffalo could end up choking this. But the thing about it is the Broncos' kicking situation has been awful today. They're not guaranteed to get anything in the kicking situation. They're letting this clock wind down for a game-winning field goal. They're not guaranteed anything. Large majority of us Ravens fans are bringing up Keaton Mitchell. Yeah, because you have a guy that looks like he could be a real good weapon to utilize here. And instead of you utilizing him, you give him 4 snaps in the game. He got 3 carries and 4 total offensive snaps. That doesn't make sense. What team doesn't utilize their weapons? Oh, the Ravens. Why? Because we like to utilize every player. Let's not utilize our weapons here. Instead of doing that, you know what we should do? We want to utilize all our players. So instead of feeding the hot hand, let's utilize all our players. Yeah, that's what you should do. Good luck on that, though. I'm sure it'll take you the distance. I'm pretty sure that's how you won the Super Bowl, right? Weren't just looking to feed the hot hand when it was working? When Anquan Bolton kept cooking, you didn't look to feed the hot hand to him? When Torrey Smith was cooking in Denver, you didn't look to feed the hot hand there? But no, it's cool. It's cool. You keep doing these same old things. I'm sure it's gonna get you to the promised land, Baltimore. You keep making the same old mistakes. I am fully sure it will take you to the promised land, Baltimore. You'll get to a Super Bowl playing like this. I'm sure of it. 100%, totally. Yep, definitely. I want to see if they're gonna get this. Wilson gets... Oh! Did Wilson just lose the football? No, he got sacked. Ooh, they just got knocked out of field goal range. They sent everybody... I told you, man, the Broncos wouldn't count. I've seen them fold in these situations. And now it becomes 4-down territory for them. I thought Wilson fumbled that right there. He was close. Good job on holding on to that ball. It came close, man. He felt the pressure, and immediately was like, let me protect the football. Good job on him for doing that. But now you're... Okay, he didn't lose that much. It's a 3rd and 10. He didn't lose that much. It's a 3rd down and 10 here. You're at the Buffalo 45-yard line. The best part is that sack didn't put you back into a 3rd and 15 or something like that. You're at a 3rd and 10. You still have a chance here. You're at the 45-yard line of the Bills. And the thing about it that you got to understand is you don't need to gain all of it back. Just put yourself in 4th and manageable. If you can pick up the 1st down, by all means do so. But you can't afford a sack here. And they're sending pressure. And Wilson. Oh, my God. Pass interference. Oh, my God. The Bills are going to lose this game. Pass interference just got called. Bills are going to lose this game. 29 seconds. Oh, my goodness. Pass interference. Oh, my God. Well, Buffalo's about to choke this game to Denver. Ooh. Buffalo with their season on the line is about to choke. Dang. You better hope you can block this kick, or the kicker just fumbles the way he did on the extra point. Or better yet, Russell Wilson, man, if he got a golden opportunity. They sent everybody on a blitz, and Russell Wilson just put it out there. That was not going to convert. But look at Russell Wilson. Look at Jerry Jeudy being smart enough as a receiver to gain the contact. Buffalo can't believe it, bro. They're about to choke to the Broncos. Their season is on the line here potentially. You lose this game, they're out of the playoff race right now. You're about to be 5-5. 29 seconds left, bro. This defense, they're going to set up for the field goal. Oh, my God. They're going to set up for the field goal. Ooh, Buffalo's going to call timeout. Why did they call a timeout? Oh, you know what? This is about to be a heartbreaking loss if Denver wins. This is their season right here. Not entirely. Obviously, they're not. They could win the next 6 games, right? Let me look at the Bills' schedule real quick. I need to see this, bro. Buffalo, what is your schedule down the stretch? Because I need to see what your schedule is to see how I can believe in you. Oh, my God. They got the Jets next week. We saw how that... The Eagles and the... Eagles, Chiefs, and Cowboys. Pack them up. Pack them up. Oh, my goodness. Eagles... Okay, forget about that Jets. The Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys... This might be it for the Bills, bro. They might be cooked this season. Oh, my goodness. I didn't even know. What type of schedule is this? Who gave them a schedule this difficult? The Jets next week in Buffalo's already going to be a tough one because Josh Allen got cooked by that defense. Maybe this will be a revenge game. But after that, at Philadelphia, at Kansas City, and then the Cowboys come to Buffalo. Bro, they're in trouble. Losing this game to the Denver Broncos puts them in serious... Why is he calling a timeout here? Oh, because he wants to try to get the football back. If this kick is made, he wants to try to get the football back. Wow. Buffalo's in the hunt right now. The Texans just got the tiebreaker from the Bengals, so they're on the hunt right now. They'll drop the 5-5 with the Colts and ooh. This stuff just went up. Woo, woo. See, it's situations like this that make me still feel comfortable in saying the Ravens can still make the playoffs. Because Buffalo, I don't think we can. Buffalo right here, they can't blow this dog. Now, here's what pisses me off right here about what Sean McDermott did. Why did he use all of his timeouts? Why did he utilize all his timeouts? I would have preferred if he would have not that. Well, oh wait, Denver doesn't have any timeouts. Denver can't stop the clock here. They're going to have to spike it. Denver, they didn't spike it. Wow. So they're going to have to set up quickly to kick a game-winning field goal. They got the special teams out there. They're going to rush this. They better pray Denver. A 41-yard field goal for the game. The kick. He missed it! Flag. Damn it. Damn it, Bills. Come on, man. The Broncos gave it to you. The Broncos gave you the game, Bills. They gave you it. He missed the kick, and you saved him? That's it, Bills. Take the L. Take the L. He missed the kick. He missed the kick. How do you have 12 men on the field? He missed the kick, and you've got 12 men on the field? How, Buffalo? How? It wasn't even a jump on offsides. They missed the kick. How do you have 12 people on the field? This kicker, if he misses, he's getting fired tonight. 36-yard field goal. If he misses this kick, he's getting fired. For the win. He makes it. Denver wins the game. And the Bills are going to drop to 5-5. Sean McDermott, I want answers now. How the hell do you have 12 defenders on the field? He missed the kick. It wasn't a jump ball sides or nothing. He missed the kick. Why is there 12 players on the field in that situation? Buffalo might be done. I can't see them beating Kansas City. In Kansas City. I can't see them beating Philadelphia. In Philadelphia. Bills are done this season. They're cooked. I can't see. How am I supposed to... You can't beat the Broncos. How am I supposed to trust you next week against the Jets? How am I supposed to trust you in Philadelphia and in Kansas City? They're done. And then against the Cowboys? They're cooked. They're cooked, bro. It's over. Buffalo's done. Buffalo's cooked. They have no tiebreakers. And guess what? With Denver being 4-5, they have a chance to still be in the race. They don't have the tiebreaker against the Bengals because the Bills lost to the Bengals. You lost to the Bengals. You don't have the tiebreaker over them. This team is done. The Bengals are done. Not the Bengals. The Bills are done. The Bills are done. They lost to the Bengals, and now they've lost to the Broncos. The Bills are done. You need them to play out of their minds against Philadelphia and Kansas City to have any sort of shot. They're done. With that being said, I'm going to be done here. It's 11:30. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my night and just chill out. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, chilling out, enjoying this little conversation. We're going to get ready for Thursday night football against the Bengals. Should be an interesting one. And it should be fun to see how things go. Appreciate you guys tuning in, stopping by. And with that being said, you're right, Bengals could join them. If we beat them on Thursday, they'll also be 5-5. But yeah, with that being said, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm out of here, man. Peace.